Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a cake shop in Minecraft, step by step, block by block, including the interior for all of your city building needs. Fun fact, I am hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. If you spot me, leave a comment down below. The first person to find me will have their comment pinned. Also, did any of you spot the super secret sign? What did it say? This is the amount of space required to make the build. I would recommend copying this grid into your world, and if you do, to find the starting position, begin at the front left hand corner of the grid, count backwards, find the fourth block, and then count to the right and find the third block. That is where we start. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 6 pink concrete extending up from the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend to the right by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then extend down by 2. 1, 2. And then right by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then extend towards the back of the build by 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then extend across the back by 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Extend towards the back of the build once more by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then extend to the right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can extend all the way back to the very front of the build to connect together. Then we are going to connect certain pink concrete blocks down to the ground. So this one here, we will join down to the ground. And then this one as well. And this one. This one. This one, and finally, this one. In doing this, we now have a really good sense of the structure of the build. Next, we will come all the way back to the front left-hand side of our bakery, where we will connect these bottom pair of pink concrete together. Then stack 2 rows of glass pane on top. Then place 2 rows of pink concrete on top of the glass. Then come behind the window and extend this block backwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And connect forwards. Place a row of pink concrete here and glass pane behind it. Then on the opposite side of the window frame, we will extend this pink concrete back by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then up to the top of the frame again. But this time, we will just fill the entire empty space in with glass. Then, for the back of the window frame, we will place alternating white and pink concrete, extending across like this, which we will then extend all the way up to the top of the frame. And then we will just fill the base of this in with birch planks. From the outside, we will have this, which just looks really good. Next, we will make the entrance, which is just to the right here. We will begin by placing a row of 1, 2, 3 white concrete like this. Then a glass block to the right of the upper white concrete. White concrete to the right, which we will drop down to the ground. Remove this grass block here in between the 2 white concretes and replace it with a birch plank. Stick an oak door on top and a polished blackstone button to the right here. We then will place a pale oak hanging sign, which I'm just going to have a bunch of dashes for the top line, open for the second line, dashes again, And then I'm just going to have like 9 till 5 or something like that. So just a detailing when the bakery is open. Then we can add a row of pink concrete just to the right here to seal up the doorway. And then we can remove 2 rows of grass from in front of the door and place andesite instead. We will also place a potted plant just to the left, literally a pot with any plant that you like. I always go for ferns. I don't know why. I'm just obsessed. Next, we are going to seal up the entire right side of the build using pink concrete. This is ideally where we would connect to another build in a high street, or alternatively, we can place some plant life here a little bit later on. But you know what? We're here now. Begin by placing a row of composters along the base of the wall, leaving a gap of 1 on the left and right sides. We can then place a row of your favourite leaves on top. I've went with oak, and that's it. Next, come all the way to the back of the build, where we will begin by connecting these 2 walls together at the bottom. Then, for the larger wall, we will place 2 rows of pink concrete extending inwards on the right, and 1 row of pink concrete extending inwards on the left. We will then fill this space in with glass pane. And I'm not sure whether I prefer this or not, but we have pale oak trapdoors left and right of the window to act as shutters. Then we are going to place pink concrete here in the left side of this wall, add an extra row of pink at the base, and then we will fill the top of this area in with glass pane. Then add large ferns against this wall. Next, let's focus on this area. Here we have a back entrance, so remove this grass block, replace it with a birch plank, stick an oak door on top, glass block on top of that, and then we can seal the rest of this wall up with pink concrete. I'm also going to add a bell behind the glass block, and I will also do the same at the front of the build as well. Then next, we can actually turn our attention to this wall here, which we will just completely fill in with pink concrete. Just like so. We can also add composters to the side of this wall as well, leaving a gap of 1 from the back of the build and 1 from that window. And then once again, stick your favourite leaf on top. Heading inside of the build momentarily, we are going to remove all of the grass block from just literally inside of the build. Wherever there is grass, we will remove it. And replace it with birch planks. Like this. Then we have to create a wall here, but first an oak door opposite where we have the back entrance, and then we can just fill the rest of this space extending all the way up to the top of the frame in with pink concrete. Next, we have to make a cake on top of the bakery. That's a weird sentence. To do this, we can place an orange terracotta in this position, and then extend it across to the right side of the bakery. Stop here, and then extend all the way to the back. Stop here, extend all the way across the opposite side, line up with the front, and then simply connect forwards, just like so. Add another row of orange terracotta on top of this. Then, on top of the front left-hand corner here, we will place a white concrete. Leave a gap white concrete, leave a gap, white concrete. We want to repeat this pattern, extending all the way around the cake. Until we reach this point, in which we will place orange terracotta in between the white concretes. Then we will add a row of white concrete on top of the orange terracotta / white concrete row. Then I think it's easiest just to fill the entire top of the cake in using white concrete first. And then we can add some red concrete in some choice positions. So maybe we could add like a rather large red concrete here, like a 2x2 here. And then add like just a single red concrete about here. And then all the way up in about this position, we can do a similar thing. We can add like a 2x2, kind of like this. And then we can add like another one probably about here also. And then we can either leave it like that, or maybe roughly in the middle somewhere, we can add a red concrete. And I think that we are just about getting there. Maybe alternatively, you can add one just right in the very front right-hand corner like this. I might have preferred it better before. I'm not actually certain, but I think that will do just nicely. So do feel free to copy the rough positions of those. I actually just did that straight off the top of my head. It's not something that you've got to worry too much about. We're never going to see this. Extending all the way around the top of the walls is an alternating cherry stair / smooth quartz stair row. So this begins just above the display window that we have at the front of the build and literally extends all the way round the rest of the build. Even when it's kind of like a weird shape like this where we've got to dip in a bit, it's kind of more of an L shape, we still persist with this pattern. Just like this. Now, on top of the pink concrete, we will place the opposite style of slab. So above the pink slabs, we will place white, and above the white slabs, we will place pink. At the front of the build, there is an overhang where people can sit under and enjoy some cake. To make this, we will extend this stair forwards by placing 1, 2, shall we just go with 2? Pink slabs. And then we will extend it all the way across to here. We will extend 1, 2 pink slabs. We will then extend all of the other blocks forwards like this to match, just like so. Then we will place pale oak fence, connecting the corner blocks down, like this. Nice and simple. We do also have a similar thing at the back of the build. So I also want a small overhang here. So we're just going to extend the ends of these stairs just one row forwards. And then we will extend those corner slabs down to the ground, just like so. And if you want to alternate these slabs so that they don't match the stair, then you can. But I found that for the overhang, I like them to match. And whilst we're here, speaking of slabs, we also want to fill this area in too. So for the roof, we do want the alternating block. So we just want to have something which should look like this. Whilst we're at the back of the build, I don't know whether to hang a sign here that literally just says like employee only or something like that, with either a hanging sign or just a pale oak sign. But I do also just want to add a standing sign as well. So spruce fence gate here, flip up a couple of spruce trapdoors on the left and right side, and then place a spruce trapdoor across the top, just like this. Later on, we will make a banner for this, and it will just look so much better. But whilst we are still here, why don't we remove some of the grass and grid from the back of the build, being careful not to remove it from the ferns. So up to about here, mainly focusing on the back entrance area and this small square that we have behind this window. We want to add a row of smooth stone all the way around the window and plants that we have, and then extend to the back door, where I think that we'll just have a little row of andesite here, and then some smooth stone around it, just like this. Then more importantly for this area, we are going to place a row of 1, 2, 3 cyan terracotta, which we will extend towards the end here, leaving just a gap of 1, and then just a row of andesite behind. Then we are going to fill the rest of this in using the smooth stone, just like so. So now we have a car parking space. It would also make sense for us just to remove all of the remaining grass and grid. I think that I want to keep 1 row of grass either side of the planters, by the way, that we have on both sides of the build. So just be careful to leave those as we remove all of these blocks. And we can replace all of those blocks with smooth stone. This is just pavement that goes all the way around the build. Just like so. And at the front of the build, we also want one of those signs that we made earlier as well. So either here or here. Where would it look better? Maybe here. We will place a spruce fence gate. Couple of spruce trapdoors flipped up on both sides, just like this. And then just 1 across the top. That is perfect. Next, we are going to make the small seating area underneath this canopy. Place a pale oak stair here and here, with pale oak signs either side of the stairs. Stick a scaffolding in between. Flower pot on the table if you like, and a plant inside of the pot if you like as well. Next, we have to make a bunch of banners. So throw down a limb, open it up. White banner in there with some black dye. First of all, we're just going to write out the word cake. So C is Pale Dexter, Chief, and then Base. Next is A, which is Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, Chief, and then Fess. Next is K, which is Pale Dexter, Bend Sinister, and Bend. And lastly, we have E, which is just Pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, and Base. Next, we want to make a stripy banner. So to do this, it's just a pink banner with some white dye, and we apply the Pally pattern, or Paley. I actually have no idea which one. And that's it. Next, we will make the cake banner itself, which is a pink banner, red dye. Apply the chevron pattern. Grab that, put that back in with some white dye. Apply the base pattern. Grab that, put that back in there with some brown dye, and apply the base indented pattern. That's it. Now, lastly, if you would like to make a car, place a light grey banner in there with some grey dye, and apply the Fess pattern, followed by the Bourgeois pattern. Next, we will write out the word cake above this window, C-A-K-E, and then we will apply the cake banner, as if the word cake wasn't enough. We will also apply our cake banner here to this standing sign and all the way to this standing sign here at the back. Then we also want to apply our stripy banners. So this is kind of tricky without just breaking into this window. So just break into this window and then apply the stripy banners to the top of the window along the inside like this. We may as well actually make the window display. So first of all, we are going to seal up the top of it using orange terracotta. And we will place a lantern here and here in the corners. We will then make a small bench using spruce trapdoors. So one flipped up here, one here, connect them together across the top, stick cakes on top of the bench, and you can actually take some nibbles out of some of them if you like. Apply some item frames to the spruce trapdoors. Place cake in the item frames. Oak shelf here in this position, which I'm going to fill with biscuits. Then I'm going to place cakes in front of the item frames. And then on the right here, a flower pot with an azure bluette inside of it. And now let's take a little look at what we've made. And that would have been so much easier had we not have placed those banners first, but we did do that, so I committed to it. But as you can see, it's a really nice looking window display actually, like it's nice and layered, there's a lot of depth to it. Now, before we head inside, let's move all the way to the back of the build where I will show you how to make a really simple car. Grab your favorite color of wool and place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 of it in the car parking space. Extend it one row to the right or left, I don't know where you've placed it exactly, and then extend these 2 blocks up a row, place glass in front, place the matching carpet on top of all of the walls and the glass, apply the light grey banner that we made earlier to the 4 side corners of the car, and then stick item frames in front. And there you go, the easiest car that you will ever make, and you can make it out of any wool carpet combination that you like. Side note, we will be reusing these 2 banners a little bit later, so don't lose them. With the entire outside of the build complete, we can now head inside and work on the interior. First of all, we will begin at the entrance area. Right next to the doorway, we will place 1, 2 strip spruce wood in this position, and then flip up 1, 2, 3 spruce trapdoors on the left, and 1, 2, 3 strip spruce trapdoors on the right. We will then place spruce trapdoors here and here, connecting both sides together, and then we want to place item frames here and here, just like that. We can also place spruce signs in front of the stripped spruce wood as well. We will then leave a gap of 1 and then place 1, 2 stripped spruce, and then spruce signs in front, just like this. We will also place a 1x2 painting above this area. I'm looking for something a bit more colourful. That's what I had in mind. Then we will, against this window, place 1, 2 smooth quartz stair in this position with a pale oak sign on the end, and 1, 2 smooth quartz stair in this position with a pale oak sign on the end. Place end rods between these stairs, and then black carpet on top of the end rods. We are also going to repurpose the stripy banner from earlier and make curtains on the left and right side of the window. We are also going to place a couple of oak shelves right here in this position. Then we are going to make the counter space by leaving a gap of 2, so basically right next to the door. We will place a series of white and pink concrete extending the left all the way towards the front of the shop, where, leaving a gap of 1, we will then place an additional and final white concrete extending backwards. We will place lecterns here and here with glass pane surrounding the lecterns like this. We will then place a smooth quartz stair in this position, heavy weighted pressure plate here, and then a flower pot here. You can either leave the flower pot empty so that it looks like a cup, or you can place a white or pink flower in there. I think the Lily of the Valley is a nice choice. Then, in front of the counter space, we will place alternating pink and white carpet. So, in front of the pink, we will place white, and in front of the white, we will place pink. Also, we want to do the same thing using cherry and pale oak planks. So this is above where we just placed the carpet and one row above the actual top of the counter, so you can see the position that we've placed that in. After that, we are just going to nip behind the counter space where we will place a row of grey concrete in this corner, just from bottom to top. Then surround the base using light grey concrete, and then place 1, 2, 3 rows of light grey concrete on top, and then extend to the right at the top to give us this shape. We will then place a brewing stand here, 2 stone buttons here. We also want to place a lever in this position, this position, this position, or this position. That actually looks wrong for some reason. I don't know why. I think I'm just going to leave it like this. And then we have to make another unit just here. It's probably just easiest if we place like 1, 2, 3 pink concrete in this position. And then we can stick some spruce trapdoors just flipped up left and right of this. And we can create some shelves by placing one here, and one here. So a nice set of 3. And if we just hop up, we can place some item frames like this. Then we'll leave a gap of 1 and place 2 shelves like so. I also want to have a painting on this wall, probably right about here. We're going to go for another... yeah, I guess that one's okay. Maybe the creeper? Yeah, I think that we'll go with the creeper. I quite like the colours. And now that we have done that, ladies and gentlemen, we have to make the ceiling. So to make the ceiling, we are just going to place a layer of smooth quartz slabs. First of all, just all the way around the top of this part of the build. And the reason that I'm being a bit specific is because we kind of want to find the middle part of this area. So we kind of just want to keep adding some smooth quartz slabs until we kind of like find the center of the counter space. I guess that it lines up with the shelf. And the reason that we are doing this is we want to have a 3x3 square of smooth quartz slab that is kind of like recessed into the ceiling, if that makes sense, just like that. And right in the middle, we'll have a lantern dangling down, and then just cherry signs all the way around. If you wanted to get fancy with it, I've just thought about this, to be honest. You could, in fact, not use slabs, and you could use, say, white concrete or something instead, and that might actually be an improvement, or it might look a little bit weird. I actually do kind of like that, to be quite honest with you. I think that we will keep it that way. We do also just have to fill in the ceiling behind the counter as well. This is done just by placing the smooth quartz slabs just like this. We aren't really going to do anything fancy back here, but I was thinking if you did want to, you could install a cheeky bit of frog light, kind of like this, just behind the counter, so it's not really that visible unless you get back there, but honestly, I think it's probably best just leaving it as it is, just a nice smooth white ceiling. And next, we are going to start filling in these item frames and everything. So these item frames just by the door, we are just going to completely fill in with bread. On top of here, we are going to place cakes. In here, we can have a mix of things. We can have biscuits, cakes, and then the cake banner. This is where this comes in handy. Behind the counter as well, we also want to have our cakes here, and you can eat one if you like. Then we can fill the shelves up with the same sort of things that we did over there. And then in here, I mean, again, it's kind of like whatever you want to have, like biscuits or cakes or whatever it might be. I think that we have to do something about the door. I think that we have to place like a little bit of smooth quartz slab just across the top of it, because it looks a little bit weird otherwise, I think. And then we either fill this in, Or we just leave it as it was. I kind of think it was okay as it was, to be honest. Yeah, I think that we will just leave that as it is. Next, we are going to move into the back of the build, which is all the way over here, a bit of a tight squeeze. And first of all, we will place a polished andesite here, blast furnace on top, polished andesite on top of that, stone button here, 2 light grey concrete here, then 2 block of iron in the corner here with stone buttons in front. We can then place a lantern on top of the fridge. By the way, that's a fridge. Item frame here, lever here, cake here, above this, oak shelf, egg, milk, sugar inside of the shelf, and then we are just going to add some smooth quartz slabs for the ceiling. With that final detail added, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add our cake shop into our city. Guys, where do we put this thing? My first thought was that maybe we could place it down here near the beach area, as we already have the donut shop and the ice cream shop. But I'm not really looking to speedrun diabetes, so I don't think that it would fit in too badly down here. Let's actually just fix that whilst we're here. But I think it's too similar to the sweet shop, and once again, we're not trying to speedrun diabetes. Unfortunately, I do think that that means we just have to stick it up here in Sky Purgatory. If you haven't seen the latest deleting the city video, then this area is going to be a massive surprise to you. But basically, sometime before the end of this month, we are going to take every single one of these builds right here, including this cake shop, and we are going to make a brand new suburban suburbs. Stay tuned. You may be interested in becoming a channel member. You can click the join button that will be somewhere on the screen right now. This does cost money and is a monthly subscription, but you do get some perks. The first of which is a download link for my city design world. This has every single build that I have placed in my city, arranged in order, and labelled. This perk also comes with schematics for the mods Lightmatica and World Edit, so you can easily reference and copy and paste these builds into your worlds in any way that you'd like. However, if you're not interested in any of that building business, the highest tier allows you to download the most current version of Mini-City. There are also some minor perks, including loyalty badges displayed next to your name whenever you comment something down below on my videos. Depending on how long you have been a channel member, you gain a more prestigious helmet, with the highly coveted gold builder's hat being the most valuable. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.